I thought, well, I could take some time to explain how push button works. So I got a push button right here, and on the left, over here somewhere, there should be right now an image of a push button on when it is connected. So as you can see, all of the pins are connected. So that means any wire from here would be connected to all of these. So if the pin here would be high and the button is pressed, then all of the other pins would be on too. So if I press the button, that means that all of the other pins here are on too. But if I'm not pressing it, it should show up now too. What happens when I'm not pressing it? That means that only these two pins are connected and these two pins are connected. But this pin and that pin is not connected. So when it's pressed, that means that all the pins are connected. When it's not pressed, then that means only the pins on the left are connected, and they're not connected with the right ones. But only the pins on the right are connected, and they're not connected with the left ones. It's a little bit hard to explain, but there is a diagram on the left. You should understand. So let's go ahead and make a little circuit out of all of this that we're learning. So I thought we could make an LED that turns on only if the push button is pressed. So let's go ahead and edit that blink thing that we just had. So I went ahead and put back together our blink program from the last episode. So what I was thinking is we could edit a little bit on the blink program and make sure that all of this also works with a push button. So what I thought is, since we already know that when it's pressed, all the pins are connected, and when it's not pressed, not all of them are connected, that means we could probably just insert this. Well, I'll just keep it here for now. And if I connect it like this, I'll make this yellow. And then this green. As you can see, only if it's pressed, then all of these are connected. I have a little GIF right now running over there on the left. So what we're going to do here is when the push button is pressed, that means electricity is going from when one wire is on, the other wire has an output of on too. Both ways work too. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect this orange wire to one part of the LED, of the push button. So let's take this orange wire and connect it there. And then we're going to take our yellow one and we're going to connect this to over there. Now that was quite simple, and the code stays the same. So what happens? Oh, well, it's still a blink program, so we're going to have to make sure that this is directly connected to 5 volts, because 5 volts means that it's fully on all the time. So always when you're changing things, you almost always want to unplug the Arduino or power it off before you can change anything. So we're going to start it, and that means only when I'm pressing it, it's on. When I'm not, it's off. Now, remember, there's a whole diagram right now, or on the left, of how this works. 5 volts is running from here up to the push button. If it's pressed, that means that electricity is coming from this wire to that wire, because only when the button is pressed, these two terminals are connected. So when it comes out, that means that the electricity can go back to where it is, usually in the blink program, and it goes up through the resistor up to the push button. And then, just like the dirty water explanation that I had in the first video, the electricity comes right back and gets filtered out by the Arduino, which is actually just electricity. So what we're going to do is we're going to press this button here, and that means that electricity is flowing there. And there's no real code to this. So I thought we could experiment by seeing if we can do this with a little bit more of a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and look for a little multimeter. That way we can make sure that everything's working right. And we want voltage, of course. Then we are going to take, let's see, why don't we use another LED? Let's get another LED. And with this LED, I'll make this one red just like it is normally. And we're going to do the exact same thing, but one of them is on blink and the other one is not. So what we're going to do is we're going to, of course, get another one of these resistors and connect it right there where the positive one is, and this one just like that. And the second one, we're going to do a green wire for this and use it as the blink one. So let's restart. One of them is blinking, or, well, this one here is not connected to ground. Remember, we gotta keep things on ground too. So we're gonna connect a wire here straight to the ground pin again. And since I like things being a lot more organized, I'm going to connect it to the other ground pin and start it. That thing's using its blink, and this thing only works with, so we can see if we can, this is a fun game, you got to see if you can do it at the exact timing. And then, it's actually quite fun. 1, 0, 1, this is quite hard. So, it is a fun game, and we're going to see, to make sure that the electricity is actually coming out using this wire. And of course we don't want it that color. I'm going to make it cyan for now. And then get a ground wire, connect it to the ground pin. There we go. And now we can always make sure that the button is pressed, because right now we have super duper mini bit amount of electricity, but when we press it, we go all the way up to 5 volts. So as you can see, but this here is not enough to power anything. So we gotta make, so as you can see, we have 0 amps. And this aperture is actually right now a better way of checking it. And resistance is not gonna do a thing. Well, that's error, because, yeah, it's not gonna help. We're just gonna do volts for now, or amperature. So when we press it, we have 4.17 K amperature. Let go, and we have 0 amperature. But with volts, as you can see, we have a very, very small amount. And we can always look up how much that is. I don't think that's enough to power anything, except maybe the smallest LED in the world. Yeah. So this electricity is going to do nothing. So what we're going to do is, if we press it though, as you can see, there's some electricity flowing through, and that's enough to power a lot of different things. And this is a fun game too. Yeah, it is quite fun. So if you like playing little games like this might be a fun little game to make. And you don't really need a multimeter. I just put it there, that way you can actually measure the electricity. Now, what we're going to do next is, well, I'm going to take a little blue wire. And I'm going to make another LED connected right here to see if electricity is even flowing through. So this LED is pretty much going to be on all the time. So we're going to connect it here. And I'm pretty much going to copy all of this. And then paste it. So, we're going to do the exact same thing right over here. And of course, we might want to move this down a little bit. And there we go. We have this. And I'm going to change this color to... what's a good color? I don't know. What about blue? Or actually green, because this means that everything's working. That green LED is on. And the white LED is just thing. I don't want this really though to be red, because that means that it's not working usually. Something's wrong. So we're going to do this yellow. So let's start this, and as you can see, oh, forgot the ground. I'm always forgetting grounds. I don't know why. Now, you don't forget your grounds when you work with this. So as you can see, that one's all the way on, all the time. That means that everything's working fine. That yellow one is on only with the blink, and then that white one is only on with the push button. So what we did was we have a game, and if that green light's on, that means everything's fine. This is a fun game. I really don't want to stop playing. Well, it was quite fun to figure out how different things would work. And as you remember, every single diagram actually is available, downloadable down in the description, as long as this Tinkercad project when we're done. So I want to make this a lot nicer. That way it all looks good. Now what I'm going to do is I might want to really make this in real life, because this seems quite fun. It's a real fun game, and I bet my brother would like it too. So, well, I hope you guys are going to have fun and try experimenting like I did. I did a lot of experimenting, as you can see. There's a bunch of wires everywhere. But the actual project that we were actually hoping to make was, well, let me go way back to what we were doing a while ago. Well, the computer doesn't remember back then. So I'm just going to go like this for now. And this is our original project that we were really working on. And I changed it up a lot. And as you can probably see that. So we have this. It's quite fun. And I could be pressing this button all day and playing that game that we just made all day too, if I wanted to. And I bet my brother would like it too. So, well, maybe you guys can figure out a different way of using a push button. And if you guys have any questions, let me down in the comments below, and I'll start making videos about those too. Like if you have a certain piece that I don't have a video about yet, which I probably don't. But, well, just let me know if there's anything that you need help with, or if there's a question you have about this project or the blank project from before. Well, see you guys next time.